Mike, check. Justin Hunt, it's all happening. Thanking everybody rocking with the channel. Thanking everybody subscribed through the channel, who shared a video, shared a link. It's priceless. Big thank you to everyone who's donated. If you'd like to donate, you can hit the Cash App that's right up there, or you can hit the link in the description. And big thank you to all my newest members. All the newest members, Dope and Apologetic, Stephen P., Jamar Hooks, Dennis Chaco, The Eccentric Directive, Ms. Rec to You, True Thought, Spicy Cottontail, JT, Keish, Born Gifted, 72 Paths, TC, Zay with the Ish, Zay, WTS. Okay, we know what Zay all about. Star 1980, Furry B Productions, Sir Joint, Andin' It R. Bruce, Roland, Feast, High 3, Denise W., Big Heck Entertainment. We Are Deciphered. We Are Deciphered. Big shout out to We Are Deciphered. Incredible commentary, incredible platform over there. Big thank you. TRVL Girl 25. Solo in the Crowd. Been to a lot of movies, been to a lot of shows like that. Tamia Peach. Mara, 9-second applause. Thank you. If anybody would like to join this community, there's a link in the description that'll take you straight to where you can sign up to become a member, but I'm blessed and highly favored, so thank you very much. We had another Culture United this week. Going into this Culture United, I really wanted to do a straight hip hop one, and obviously Drake and Kendrick still loom in the distance, and so we did talk about Kendrick Lamar's first night on the GNX tour with SZA, but most of the conversation was about really dope rap topics, Lil Wayne, the mixtape era, whether or not Travis Scott, Playboi Carti, Uzi Vert are classified as hip hop or rap, AI in the future, a number of different things. So big shout out to Wayno, Rob Markman, Headcrack, my man Headcrack, Glasses Malone, Curtis King, and Read My Soul. Thank you guys for joining this panel. Thank you to everyone who's watched it. The full video is currently available now in the live section, and there's 2 clips that are available here on the channel as well. So 1 second applause to you all. Now, here we go. A lot of stories today. Up first, chart report, return of the chart report. We do this every week. This is where we look at the current Billboard Hot 100 and the Billboard 200 and just look at what's happening in the business of selling music. Number one, Luther, Kendrick Lamar, and SZA still sitting at number 1. I think it's 10 weeks straight. 10 weeks straight right now. 1 second applause. This song, last week there was a contention. I don't want to say there's a contention. Maybe that's unfair to say that there's a contention. But last week, Nokia had crept up to number 2. And so there was a conversation around how the charts would look going forward. Well, this is still Kendrick Lamar season. Obviously, the tour just began. I'm expecting additional bumps. Also, there's another video coming, I keep hearing. And so, but Luther is standing strong. This is, again, a week or 2. I think it's probably 2 weeks since the video actually dropped, which is phenomenal. There's a breakdown on the video on this channel as well. And make sure you check out Dissect Podcast too. They have a great breakdown of a lot of things that most people missed when it came to the video for Luther and Kendrick Lamar and SZA, but still reigning supreme. 1 second applause. Me and Rob Markman actually talk about that, at least the chart positioning and the fan bases in my conversation with him that's currently on this channel, available for members. So check it out if you missed it. Number 2, Die With a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. Number 3, Drake Nokia, down 1 spot. So it was number 2 last week. This week it's number 3. It's still hanging out in the top 10. Still the number 1 song from Some Sexy Songs for You. It's still a bop in my opinion. It is still a bop in my opinion. We covered the amended lawsuit. Drake is currently suing UMG for defamation, of course. And I just think it's really funny. One of the arguments is that UMG defamed him to lower his value so he'd be less successful. And here is Nokia hanging out in the top 3 at the same time currently. So we'll see how that case develops. There's a few more dates coming up that we're looking towards. I think we're obviously going to see if this case will be dismissed. But if it does move forward, it really is an interesting touch point, right? If it moves forward, my reflexes tell me UMG would settle, because I don't think anyone in that position would want to expose the business of selling music and how predatory it tends to be. But if they do go forward, you'll have discovery on both sides of the equation. I mean, one thing about the music business is for a few years there, record labels would regularly take a lesser percentage from Spotify in helps to keep Spotify afloat, right? This is a behind the scenes thing. Not a lot of people knew that. And so I was talking to one label head about it years ago. And I said, why do labels keep doing that? And he said, well, what does it mean for the business of selling music if the number one retailer, distributor, isn't profitable, right? So there's a lot of smoke and mirrors in the background that would be very interesting. Should this go to trial? Should discovery actually happen? Also, discovery goes both ways. We learn a whole lot of things about Drake too, if we see it. But one of the arguments, again, has been that because of Not Like Us and how UMG handled that, or at least how Interscope marketed the project, and how Republic didn't stop them, because that's also in the suit. Ultimately, these are both two subsidiaries of UMG. So ultimately, UMG, how they handled that was an attempt to devalue Drake, while he currently now has the number 3 song in the nation, and it was number 2 last week. So there's a lot going on with that. We'll keep you abreast over here at the Company Man YouTube channel. Number 4, Pink Pony Club, Chapel Roan. Number 5, Ordinary, Alex Warren. Number 6, A Bar Song, Tipsy. Last week it was number 6, stays flat this week, 53 weeks on the chart. I think it was number 1 for 19 weeks last year. Number 1 for 19 weeks. And this is a country song, again, that takes Jaquan's Tipsy, flips it into a country song, and is the number 1 country song in the nation. Like, it's the number 1 song in country. And you know country gotta hate that. Country's gotta hate that. But it also signals how the country itself is evolving, and there's more people who are pushing the margins of what it is to be country, or what's deemed country. Obviously, Shabuzi's at the forefront of that. And we're seeing a lot of that, generally speaking, in multiple genres. There's a lot of cross-genre experimentation. And all of these genres are leveraging hip-hop and 808s and a lot of the language and velvet rope and popping bottles and all this kind of stuff. I just really appreciate everything that Shabuzi has been able to do so far this year, or at least with his last project. And I'm happy to see it still sitting at number 6. 1 second applause. Teddy Swims, Losing Control. My man, Teddy Swims. Big fan of Teddy Swims. Big fan of this song. He is a true star. Last week it was number 8, so this is up 1 spot. Peak position was number 1, 87 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause for Teddy Swims. Number 8, All the Way, Big X The Plug featuring Bailey Zimmerman. Last week it was number 4, peak position number 4, 2 weeks on the chart. So it debuted at number 4 last week. And I was so excited. For Big X The Plug, the biggest, the largest. Because he caught one. He really caught one. Now, Bailey Zimmerman, this is a rap country crossover too. It's a multi-genre hit record. But Big X The Plug, I just think his ceiling is limitless. You know, his voice is incredible. He's a masterful storyteller. You know, there's a earnestness and an honesty that bleeds through his music. And every time Big X The Plug comes on in any fashion, my day is immediately made better. So 1 second applause to Big X The Plug and Bailey Zimmerman. Number 9, Beautiful Things, Benson Boone. Number 10, I'm the Problem, ew, yuck, gross. 11, Just in Case, ew, yuck, gross. 12, Birds of a Feather, Billie Eilish. Number 13, APT, Rose and Bruno Mars. Last week was 13, so it's flat this week. Its peak position was number 3 in the charts. Been on the charts for 26 weeks. Number 14, Doechii, Anxiety. That video is out. That video is fire. 1 second applause to Doechii. Last week, this song was number 14, so it stayed flat this week. Peak position number 10. Been on the charts for 6 weeks. I promise, man, Billboard's website is so annoying. They just have ads after ads after ads after ads after ads, messing up my flow over here.
Tomato.
Number 15, Espresso, Sabrina Carpenter. Last week, 17. Peak position was number 3. Weeks on the chart, 53. I was watching, who did this analysis? Someone did an article analyzing the hypocrisy with Espresso well, not espresso particularly, but Sabrina Carpenter and how she markets herself and some of the things she talks about with the backlash that Cardi B got over WAP. Over WAP. Apparently, Sabrina Carpenter is floating in that WAP territory these days, and she's celebrated for it. You know, so it's one of those things that I think we can all expect to happen, these types of juxtapositions. We saw that with Sinners. Big shout out to Sinners, Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, 1 second applause. Really great story. Now, I'm not a fan of Jim Crow period pieces, and I'm generally not a fan of vampire movies either. And somehow, this movie, through the storytelling, through how cinematic it was shot, through the score, the subtle conversation on unity between marginalized communities, it's so much more than these two genres that I tend to not be a fan of, right? But Variety had a crazy headline. Their Variety headline was Ryan Coogler's Sinners does 60 million first week, but it doesn't look to be as profitable as it should be, right? It was something like that. Another headline said, Ryan Coogler gets the rights to his movie back in 25 years. This could be the end of the movie studio industry. Right? So that's the headlines that they were leading with around this movie, which is a tremendous success financially, critically, however you look at it. And Tarantino had a similar deal for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and you didn't see those headlines. And you know, this is a film that isn't part of a franchise, so it's overachieving at the box office, if anything. But that wasn't the spin. That wasn't the spin that Sinners, Ryan Coogler, received. He received the other side of that conversation that we see too often. So big shout out to whoever wrote that piece on on Sabrina Carpenter and Cardi B, because I thought that was a worthy conversation. I'll put a link in the description. 1 second applause to that article. Number 16, Mutt Leon Thomas. My man, Leon Thomas. Last week he was 21, 11 weeks on the chart. Peak position number 16. This keeps moving. It keeps growing. Big shout out to Rob Markman, too. He was the first one in my circle who's really extolling the greatness of Leon Thomas and his project, Mutt. And so I've talked about this song quite a bit in previous weeks. This was one of the feature songs during March Madness, Women's March Madness, and I believe Men's March Madness too. But Leon Thomas is incredibly talented. He deserves it all. 1 second applause. Number 17, I Had Some Help, Il Yuck Gross featuring Il Yuck Gross. 18, That's So True, Gracie Abrams. 19, Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar. Last week was 16. Peak position was 1, 59 weeks on the chart. Coming up on the 1 year anniversary. I'm doing a supercut of some of the breakdowns that I did around this, since we are now in the 1 year window of this greatest rap battle in history, the Shakespearean shakedown, if you will. And this is all also being performed on tour, of course, and it's preceded by a deposition, a mock deposition. I covered this on the channel this week, and he is spoofing off of Lil Wayne's classic Deposition, and he's also spoofing off of Kanye West. Less classic Deposition, but equally as funny. And it's something that might actually ring true. You know, Dot may have to sit for a deposition should Discovery move forward with this lawsuit that Drake is filing against UMG, and should this if they actually start preparing for trial around this case. So 1 second applause to Not Like Us. Number 20, Love Somebody, Ew, Yuck, Gross. 21, TV Off featuring Lefty Gunplay. Last week it was 18. Peak position was number 2, 21 weeks on the chart. This is going to get a boost. Pretty soon. I'm looking forward to what I'm hearing about this song. This is also another song that they played on tour, of course, but they played this song. The first half was in Act 1, and then the last half, I believe, is in the final act. I think that's Act 6. I haven't actually seen the performances, but we did cover the set list on this channel last week. 1 second applause for TV Off. 22, Messy, Lola Young. 23, Sports Car, Tate McRae. 24, Squabble Up. Last week was number 23. Peak position was number 1, 21 weeks on the chart. Phenomenal song, phenomenal video. 1 second applause. 25, 30 for 30. SZA with Kendrick Lamar. Last week was 25. Peak position was number 10. 17 weeks on the chart. 17 weeks on the chart. I just saw SZA broke another record. SZA's SOS just passed Billie Eilish, I believe, as the longest running album in the top 10 by a woman, if I'm not mistaken. So she continues to rack up the accolades. I mean, if you look at this GNX tour, huge reason why it's even a stadium tour, I would argue, is because of SZA as well. I mean, Kendrick and SZA together are two generational artists, and they're putting on what, at least from night one, was a fantastic show. I know there's a few people in the comments section who talked about actually being there. And so big shout out to y'all. 1 second applause. If you like this content, if you like what we're doing over here, feel free to share a video, feel free to clip whatever you want to clip, and let people know. Like and subscribe, all that great stuff. Number 26, Abracadabra, Lady Gaga. Number 27, Timeless, The Weeknd and Playboi Carti. Last week was number 26, peak position number 3. 29 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause to both those talented artists. 28, Taste, Sabrina Carpenter. 29, I Never Lie, Zach Top. 30, No One Noticed, The Marias. 31, Stargazing, Miles Smith. Last week was 30, peak position was 19. 48 weeks on the chart. It still keeps hovering between that 19 and mid-30s area. But this is a very, very strong song. Very strong song. Do yourself a favor and check out the song in the video. It's fantastic. 1 second applause to Miles Smith. 32, Bad Dreams, Teddy Swims. Last week, 37, peak position, 32, 20 weeks on the chart. New high, new peak. Teddy Swims, man. Teddy Swims. I think he has 3, maybe 4 tracks on the Hot 100 currently, right now. And I think Teddy Swims is an artist that I'm surprised I don't hear more conversation around. You know, you look at how successful he's been with this most recent release, and you just hear his vocals and they stir something inside of you. Bad Dreams is another great song from Teddy Swims. 1 second applause. 33, Re-Entry, Fortnite. Taylor Swift featuring Ew, Yuck, Gross. This re-entry, re-entered at number 33. At number 33. So, you know, take with that what you will. I'm not mad at Taylor Swift. And then Ew, Yuck, Gross gets no love over here. 34, Good News, Shabuzi. Last week was 44, peak position 34, 21 weeks on the chart. So Shabuzi officially has 2. We've been talking about this song quite a bit. I think this is a great song for the age and era in which we live, particularly here in the United States. I think you can argue globally, but you know, we need songs that really capture the essence and energy of what humanity and people are experiencing. And I don't think it's a far reach to say we can all use some good news. 1 second applause for Shabuzi. 35, Sailor Song, Gigi Perez. 36, Sorry, I'm Here for Someone Else, Benson Boone. 37, I'm a Little Crazy, Ew, Yuck, Gross. 38, Worst Way, Riley Green. 39, Azizam, Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran, Azizam. This is a fun song. It's a fun video. It dropped 11 spots since last week. It was number 28 last week. It debuted on the charts last week. We'll see what kind of legs this has going forward. I haven't heard it outside yet. I've heard it on the, I don't think I've even heard it on the radio. But it is a fun joint. Big shout out to Ed Sheeran. Not mad at him at all. Loved his appearance on Game of Thrones. He's sitting in the woods, playing his little fiddle, getting all the it weren't the Night's Watch. It wasn't the Night's Watch. But inspiring people to go slay some dragons. 1 second applause. 40, Indigo, Sam Barber featuring Avery Anna. 41, Dark Thoughts, Lil Tecca. 42, Denial of River. Denial is a River, Doechii. Last week was number 35, 21 peak position, 15 weeks on the chart. Doechii got a major shout out from Westside Gunn. Westside Gunn on his new EP he put out. It's about 5-song EP. I took a listen to it the other day. I'm not as much of a fan of it as I am 12, but Westside Gunn, you know, he rarely comes up short. And so he took an interview that she did, and he put it at the beginning of the last song of the project, I think. And Doechii was on. She showed love in return. You know, she posted about it, showed her going crazy to the Fly God's latest release. I think she's a big fan of Westside Gunn as well. But everywhere I go, everywhere I turn, there's Doechii sitting right there. She's headlining festivals. She's, you know, it looks like she's premiering some new songs that might actually be on the album. There was one that I saw across my feed yesterday, which is really great too. And Doechii's Denial is a River is still hanging out here on the Hot 100. 1 second applause to Doechii. 43, Cry For Me, The Weeknd. Last week was 49. Peak position number 12, 11 weeks on the chart. The example of Canadian R&B, in my opinion. 1 second applause to The Weeknd. 44, Wildflower, Billie Eilish. 45, DTMF, Bad Bunny. Last week was 48. 2 was his peak position, 15 weeks on the chart. Love Bad Bunny. This album, Debbie Tiaras Mas Fotos, is becoming a favorite of mine. It's helping me understand a little bit more Spanish. You guys see my struggle Spanish every week whenever I have to name certain songs. But Bad Bunny is, he's another artist right now who's really leaning into his own culture, his own regional sound. And this album is a dedication to Puerto Rico. 1 second applause to Bad Bunny. Chris Brown's Residuals, number 46. Last week it was 50. Peak position was 40. 32 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause to Chris Brown. 47, Twilight Zone, Ariana Grande. 48, Me Halo, Fuerza Regida, and Grupo Frontera. 49, Rather Lie, Playboi Carti, and The Weeknd. Last week was 46. Peak position number 4. 5 weeks on the chart. This song's at radio. They look like Playboi Carti and The Weeknd, they look to be a very successful collaborators here. Now, we had a conversation on Culture United, and Glasses Malone. The conversation started with, it was a conversation from the audience, and someone asked, will Jid and Baby Keem be the next leaders of the new school? Who do we expect to take the torch? And Read My Soul said he thinks it's going to be a woman, and he talked about how the impact Glorilla's having. He talked about his daughter whenever Glorilla comes on. You know, it's Glorilla and Kendrick Lamar that get the biggest reaction from her. I think if you look at all the incredible things that Meg Thee Stallion is doing right now at the same time, you know, you look at Rhapsody even caught a Grammy at this last Grammy Awards season. I think women MCs are leading the pack, generally speaking. I mean, we do these charts every week, and Glorilla, she was sitting on the Hot 100 for a smooth 20 weeks, it felt like. You know, she had a tremendous 2024. And then the conversation shifted to rage rappers like Playboi Carti, really running things. And then it turned into a debate, largely between Glasses Malone and Wayno, about whether or not Playboi Carti, Lil Uzi Vert, and Travis Scott are actually hip-hop, whether rage music is hip-hop. Now, I see the argument on both sides. One, I honestly took Glasses Malone saying that as a compliment, because what he was saying was that these artists are tapping into something that we've lost. They're reclaiming something that we've lost, right? Which is rock and roll, right? Or rock sound. And because rock and roll is black music too. And he's also talking about how we have a reflex to take anything that's black and put it in hip hop. And Glasses, along with Curtis King, brought up points about how they don't even really describe themselves as hip hop or rap, at least in their conversations. And Wayno pointed out the number of songs that really sample hip hop tracks or sample classics from hip hop culture that Playboi Carti, Uzi Vert, et cetera, have put out. Travis Scott has put out, right? And so, and then Rob made a great point. How would you classify Run DMC, King of Rock, and Walk This Way? And Glasses' response to those was, those are only a few songs in their overall catalog. These guys are putting out something where the energy is completely different. It seems like how they define it themselves from their own conversations is completely different. And it turns into a debate. And so check that out. The video's on the channel right now. One thing I will say about Playboi Carti's music, and I've talked about this during this segment quite a bit, because I'm a fan of that project in the gym particularly, but there is a lot more melody than I expected. There's a lot more things that sound R&B influenced to a degree, and there's a lot more things that I would describe as more hip hop leaning than I'm normally used to from Travis Scott. So these artists obviously, you know, go in and out of the things that they want to experiment with, the sounds that they want to put out. I think overall, culturally speaking, I think they're probably more connected to hip hop culture than any other culture, even if the music that they make, in my opinion, does verge on something that I wouldn't consider hip hop, or definitely would consider something that should sit in the rap genre. So Really dope back and forth between Glasses and Wayno, but also Rob and Curtis and the rest of us joined in on that one. Take a look at the video. It's on the channel right now. And let me know what you think, because this has been going back and forth. And the comment section on the video is actually split. It's actually split. So 1 second applause to this debate. Glass Malone, Wayno, Rob Markman, Curtis King, everyone on Culture United. And 1 second applause to Playboy Cardi and The Weeknd. 50, Am I Okay, Morgan Maroney. 51, The Giver, Chapel Roan. 52, We Weren't for the Wind, Ella Langley. 53, Baye Inevitable. That might be the best I've said it. Might be the best I've said it yet. Baye Inevitable. Bad Bunny. Last week was 54. Peak position was number 3. 15 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause to Bad Bunny. 54, Somebody Loves Me, Party Next Door and Drake. Last week was 56. Peak position was number 30, 9 weeks on the chart. I still can't believe that Playboy Cardi wasn't in the Nokia video. I know he's not on this song, but it's still crazy to me that the first, right now, only real dedicated look to a track on this album didn't have the guy who shares the album with Drake. But nevertheless, this is one of, I think we'll see 4 songs that are still on the charts from Some Sexy Songs for You. The project, again, had 21 tracks. 55, BMF, SZA. Last week was 51. Peak position 29. 17 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 56, Back to Friends, Somber. 57, Friends Like That, John Morgan featuring Jason Aldean. 58, Te Quiero Ver, Ailman X Netin Vega. 59, Smile, Ew, Yuck, Gross. 60, Ojos Tristes, Selena Gomez, Benny Blanco, and the Marias. And I asked you guys about this. This project debuted at number 2. I think there was a song in here that debuted at number 2. What do you guys think about this? Because I'm not hearing anyone talk about it. And every week it slips more and more further. It slips further and further down the charts. And I keep hearing you guys describe this as a album that is interesting because Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco are in a relationship. So it's tabloid fodder music as it's being described to me. So there it is, Ojos Tristes at number 60. 61, Revolving Door, Tate McRae. 62, Loco, Neaton Vega. 63, Hard Fought Hallelujah, Brandon Luke. 64, Peekaboo. I'll just put some boogers in my chain. Peekaboo. Kendrick Lamar featuring AZ Chike. Last week, 67, 13. Peak position, 21 weeks on the chart. AZ Chike has done a great job of pivoting and capturing the opportunity that being on GNX with Kendrick has afforded him. You know, he was at the Pop Out at the same time. And so now he has his own deal with Warner and his own solo music career is moving forward. Big shout out to AZ Chike. Big shout out to Peekaboo. 65, Something About a Woman, Thomas Rhett featuring Teddy Swims. 66, Busy Woman, Sabrina Carpenter. 67, Holy Smokes, Bailey Zimmerman. Now, this is his solo joint. It's been on the charts for 13 weeks. Last week was number 80, jumped 13 spots. He's the same Bailey Zimmerman that's on the track with Big X The Plug, which is currently sitting at number 8. So he's got 2 tracks sitting here on the Hot 100 as well. Another country artist. 68, Carmel, Sleep Token. 69, End of the World, Miley Cyrus. 70, Love Me Not, Rain Lene. 71, Give Me a Hug, Drake. Last week was 66, peak position number 6. 9 weeks on the chart. This is another track from Some Sexy Songs for You. 72, Fix What You Didn't Break, Nate Smith. 73, Call Me When You Break Up, Selena Gomez, Benny Blanco, and Gracie Abrams. 74, Texas, Blake Shelton. 75, Die Trying, Party Next Door, Drake and Yebba. And I think that's the last of the songs from Some Sexy Songs for You that are still on the chart. Looks like they're pushing these 4. Obviously, Nokia is the most successful, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get another video. I think you kind of have to do at least one video that has Party Next Door in it. You know, I personally think that we'll have to wait and see how things play out. But this track is now at number 75. It slid 4 spots from last week. 76, No Pole, Don Toliver. Last week, 77, peak position 66, 24 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause to Don Toliver. 77, Chest Pain I Love, Malcolm Todd. 78, Are You Even Real, Teddy Swims and Giveon. Again, there's 4 Teddy Swims tracks in the Hot 100 right now. Love Teddy Swims. 1 second applause to Teddy Swims. 79, EOO, Bad Bunny. 80, Like Him. And this is such a deep song. It's such a deep personal song about his father who wasn't in his life. He wasn't in his life. And he has Lola Young on this project. We saw Lola Young earlier. She had the song Messy, I believe. So she's on here twice as well. But everything Tyler does is still sticking, and I'm really, really happy to see the success that he is having. Last week was 76, 29 was his peak position, 25 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 81, Blue Strips, Jesse Murph. This is a new entrant. 82, The Largest, Big X the Plug. Last week was 92, peak position was 71, 13 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause to Big X the Plug. 83, Morena, Neaton Vega, and Peso Pluma. 84, Undress Somber. 85, Feel It, David. 86, Backseat Driver, Kane Brown. 87, Evil Jordan, Playboy Cardi. Last week was 62, peak position number 2, 5 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause to Playboy Cardi. Whatever genre he fits in. 88, K Passeria, Raul Alexandro, and Bad Bunny. 89, Nueva Y'all, Bad Bunny. Last week was number 90, peak position number 8, 15 weeks on the chart. Number 90, Henry Come On, Lana Del Rey. This is a new entry. I got to check that out. I like Lana Del Rey. I like her previous projects. 1 second applause to Lana Del Rey. 91, Haunted, Kane Brown with Jelly Roll. Last week was at number 99. 58 was his peak position, 5 weeks on the chart. I haven't heard this new Kane Brown project, too. I got to give that a listen. I don't have anything against Kane Brown. Maybe 2 times I met him, he was genuinely a nice guy. So 1 second applause to Kane Brown. 92, Tattoo Tito Double P. 93, Headlock, Imogen Heap. 94, Hands of Time, Eric Church. This is a new entrant. 95, Por Esos Ojos, Fuerza Rajita. 96, Like Jenny. This is a re-entry, excuse me. 83 was his peak position, 2 weeks on the chart. 97, Not at the Party, Dasha. 98, Whiskey Drink, Jason Aldean. These last 2 are both new entrants. 99, Little Things, Ella May, Hanging On. It was 97 last week. 81 was his peak position, 7 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause to Ella May. And number 100, Dandelion, Ariana Grande. So this is the Billboard Hot 100 for this week. Big takeaways. Luther's still sitting at number 1. Big X the Plug and Bailey Zimmerman are still sitting in the top 10. Nokia slid down to number 3 this week. And there's about 4 songs from Some Sexy Songs for You that are sitting on the chart. Teddy Swims continues to win big. I think he's a bigger story than I'm seeing in the media. I think more people probably still need to be talking about Teddy Swims. And we have 2 songs from Playboy Cardi, his album Music, that are still sitting on the chart. And of course, The Weeknd is still rocking along. Now, we always do the Billboard 200. We generally look at just the top 20 songs in the Billboard 200 just to get a taste of what the album situation looks like. Number 1, More Chaos, Ken Carson. More Chaos, Ken Carson. This is another rage artist, that we were debating about on Culture United. I haven't actually heard this yet. If you've heard this project, let me know in the comments section. If you like this video, feel free to share it and like and subscribe to the channel. Big shout out to Ken Carson. 1 second applause. Number 2, Kendrick Lamar, GNX, up to number 2. I wonder if this is a boost from the Luther video dropping, but this is a titan of a project. Last week was number 5, peak position number 1, 21 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause to GNX. Number 3, SOS, SZA. Last week was number 4, peak position number 1, 123 weeks on the chart. I personally think that those 2 got a big bump from the Luther video. Big shout out to SZA, SOS. 1 second applause. Number 4, Sabrina Carpenter, Short and Sweet. Number 5, Some Sexy Songs for You, Party Next Door and Drake. Last week was number 3, peak position number 1, 9 weeks on the chart. Number 6, One Thing at a Time, Ew, Yuck, Gross. Number 7, Playboy Cardi, Music. Last week was number 1, peak position number 1, 5 weeks on the chart. Supplanted by Ken Carson, and that's his man. So I think that's dope. I mean, this project, I Am Music, or Music as I think it's officially called, it surprised me how much I really rock with it, particularly in the gym, as I mentioned before. 1 second applause to Playboy Cardi. Number 8, Debbie Tiara, Mas Photos, Bad Bunny. Stays flat from last week, 15 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause to Bad Bunny. Number 9, Eternal Sunshine, Ariana Grande. Last week was number 2, peak position number 1, 58 weeks on the chart. This was a re-entrant. I think they did a re-release of this project in the past couple of weeks. Number 10, Mayhem, Lady Gaga. Number 11, new entrant, Sable Fable, Bon Iver. Number 12, So Close to What, Tate McRae. 13, Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess, Chappell Roan. 14, Dangerous, the double album, Ew, Yuck, Gross. 15, Hit Me Hard and Soft, Billie Eilish. 16, The Torture Poets Department, Taylor Swift. 17, You'll Be All Right, Kid, Chapter 1, Alex Warren. Number 18, Stick Season, Noah Kahan. Number 19, Hurry Up Tomorrow, The Weeknd. 21, it was number 21 last week, so it's up 2 spots. Peak position number 1, 11 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause to The Weeknd. And number 20, The Secret of Us, Gracie Abrams. Last week was 22, peak position number 2. 43 weeks on the chart. And since we're right here, 21, Take Care, Big X to plug. Last week was 24. 8 was his peak position. 27 weeks on the chart. Biggest, the largest. 1 second applause. So that's this week's chart report, the Billboard Hot 100 and the Billboard 200. Let me know what stood out to you. Let me know if there's anything I missed that you think is a worthy commentary I should have added. And as always, my name is Justin Hunt. Like, subscribe to the channel, follow at The Company Man on everything, follow the Justin Hunt podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. It's all happening.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. The mathematical breakdown of this mighty game of rap we in. It's boom bapping. Systematical culture views us radical, it's all happening. Shaking hands and dabbing them. Life through the lens of hip hop, from trip hop to yes, yes, y'all. You don't stop, you don't stop. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening.